edition of the American Scouser podcast. With me this evening, I have Jamie and Chris. How are we, lads?
Not too bad, mate.
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Don't want to interrupt you both out there, lads. Calm down. Yeah, have a little chat. The Reds are back this weekend. Real football is back. Jamie, we'll come to you. How excited are you to have real football back?
It's just great, isn't it? It's been a long little hiatus we've had. Quite boring, really. So yeah, I'm excited. It's good to have the early game in as well. So happy days. We can sit back and relax for the rest of the weekend.
I know. It's nice to see some competitive football. The Reds this weekend, we've got Newcastle. First game on. Newcastle at home. Chris, I'll come to you. I think I mentioned on the previous podcast, I don't think I could have handpicked a better game for the Reds to come back to.
Yeah, completely agree. 100%. I mean, we're probably going to be resting a few players. I think there's been a lot of travelling this week. And we've got Napoli on Tuesday. So I'm thinking there'll probably be a few changes, but I don't think Newcastle have enough for us. And it's a home game. They'll be busting to get back at it again. So yeah, I'm thinking an easy, maybe 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, man. I think it's again, it's the perfect game, and I don't mean this in the crudest way at all. But let's be honest, Jamie, if Liverpool cannot beat Newcastle at home, then we don't deserve to win any Premier League title.
No, perfectly said. Like we should be winning no matter what. We're steamrolling now, 4-4. Whereas Newcastle have got 4 points in 4. So bit of a golfing difference there, but I just feel whoever we're facing, touching on the Tuesday game as well, whoever we're facing, I don't see anybody putting up a fight. We seem to have an answer for everyone and everything. So they'll probably be playing their 5-4-1 or whatever it is, and good luck to them because Robbo and Trent, they'll be barreling down at them for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games, as I say, Newcastle, Chris, what's the best way I can describe it? They're pretty shit. Don't mean on it.
That's a Scouse compliment.
Yeah, it is. That is, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's like, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. This is a championship side who the last 2 years have had a Premiership manager, which has kept them in the league.
Yeah.
Now they have a championship manager with a championship squad. Chris, I get your thoughts on it, mate. What are your thoughts on Newcastle? I'm sure we'll get into the ownership issue a bit later on, but what are your thoughts on Newcastle as a whole, as a team, and as you know, with the big old fathead Steve Bruce at the helm?
Yeah, it's strange because I have a great affinity for Newcastle. I've always liked them as a team, and they've always played attractive football. But and during the 90s, that whole golden age of the Premier League, they were such a big part of that. And sort of looking at the team now, it's a joke. You know, a team of their stature, you could say, should be a lot better, and they should be in a much better place. But this team, nah, I don't think they have much in them, and I think you're right. I think they're heading straight for the championship. They were a completely different team last year. Obviously with Rafa, the man himself, he obviously knew how to get them going and playing football. But no, this year, I mean, they went and sold their best player, Ozzy Perez. And they brought in this guy, Joelinton, who, for me, is a modern-day Paulo Wanchope. He'll be unbelievable on his day, but most of the time, he'll just be down around the pitch doing nothing, you know? So, yeah, there's not much there. They have a couple of good players, but not enough to really lift them where they need to be, you know?
Yeah. Jamie, I'll come to you. I think it's one of those teams. Usually I look at teams that go down, and I think that's of course if Newcastle go down, it's very early on. But I look at teams and they go down and go, he'll leave there. Bournemouth might pick him up. I look at this team and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be generous. Maybe Yedlin, the fullback, the American fullback. Maybe Shelby, but I can't. Maybe Lascelles, but I can't think of many where the team's going to be banging down the door to get them anyway.
Yeah, I think you know, Chris touched on Joe Linto, and you know, they spent decent money on him. I think he was almost 50 mil, which
Well,
you know,
40 mil, but they reckon they're paying it over 6 years or something. So that's how they've kind of got that price. I think
Well-
supposedly they went to the club and then said, we want 30 million up front, and then we'll give you 40 over 5 years or 6 years. And they went, we'll just do that then. So,
yeah, I mean that's who knows what business school they went to, but that's fair enough. They've got the money to burn, so good luck to them. I think, to be honest, John Joe Shelby, like, you know, it's a long
I
time
like John
since
Joe,
we
you
had
know.
to. I did like John Joe too, but apparently, as a teammate or as a player known to the footballers association, he's not a nice character. Now that could be absolute hearsay or whatever, but I always liked him as a player. I liked watching him get stuck in, but gone are the days where John Joe's up front.
Yeah.
But
I nearly threw up my mouth when I saw that today.
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
That was
West Ham
disgusting.
away. Was that?
Yeah.
1-3-2. He started them up front with like Joe Cole, and it was the maddest game of football ever. We were shocking. I remember that game. I haven't seen a thing, but I just remember that game when he started up front. Yeah. But sorry, Jay.
Yeah, no, I just like you were saying, and they're obviously a one city team, and they've got the money issues and their owner issues, but their squad just hasn't gelled. You know, they've got that young, or I guess he's not that young anymore, Dummett.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be good, and you know that I don't know that their squad just isn't up to par. And if you spoke to any of the Geordies themselves, they tell you exactly the same thing.
Yeah. As I say, I think with the team, I think them three mostly. I think Matt Ritchie's a good player. I think he's coming to the end right now. But you look at Shelby, Lascelles, and Yedlin, and you think, again, as I say, I look at squads when they go down and go, there'll be 4 or 5 Premier League clubs banging down the door for these lads, like banging down the door. I thought that about Alfie Mawson when Swansea went down and Fulham signed him, and he was shocking. And I think because I'm a big fan of Lascelles. Now, I'm not saying I want Liverpool to sign him, but I do think he could definitely be a good 4th choice defender for Liverpool, a centre back.
I remember a few years back we were rumoured to be in for him.
We were linked with him and all. And listen, because he walked in, didn't he, when in Rafa's tenure? He walked in at 18 or 19, got his debut, and he supposedly, I think they were playing Arsenal away. And Rafa walked in and he was just berating the players. He was only in there for like 6 games, and he was just berating the players like your shit, basically, and just giving them a piece of his mind. And then Rafa giving the captain's armband straight away. So I like that in a player. I think he is a good player, but and as I say, I think he could be a 4th, 5th choice defender for Liverpool.
But is he going to want to sit? Is he going to want to sit on the bench?
It's very difficult, isn't it? Because you look at, for example, you look at Shaqiri. Is that what you sell to him? You sell and go, you're going to be a part of this. So the other part is now with Liverpool. You sell the Matip story, and you go, well, Matip was the 4th choice defender at the start of the season. Then he was our best defender going into the Champions League final. You sell that to players and go, that's how seasons work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult. But as I say, because I come to you, it's a Championship squad, mate, and that is probably one of the worst managers you could have picked, in my opinion. I think he's below average at best. And I don't know what that owner's doing, mate, but he might possibly be worse than Hickson Gillette.
Mate, here's the thing, and I'm gonna get weird here for a second, but do you know how I blame for it all? Everton.
Go on. I like this. Go on.
So,
who'd you blame?
Everton.
Anytime you can blame Everton on anything, I'm all in on it. I agree. I don't even need to wear your point. I mean, yeah, it's Everton's fault.
So I don't know. I don't know if our American friends are aware of the casual day-to-day wear of an Everton fan. and it usually turns out that, I mean, I remember back in the 90s it was Lacoste. I think the modern day version of the Lacoste is now Lonsdale.
Aye.
And the best deals on Lonsdale are where? Sports Direct.
They are, yeah. Everything's keeping them in business.
Sports Direct is like a TJ Maxx, but just all sports gear in the UK, and it's owned by Mike Ashley, and that's how he gets his money. So Everton are keeping him at Newcastle. Everton are to blame for everything that's happening at Newcastle.
They're to blame for everything else. To be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they blame Liverpool for everything, so you might as well blame them for something.
Exactly. So they're to blame for what's wrong with Newcastle.
But on a serious note, Chris, to be fair, you know, he's been there for about fucking 7 years, isn't it? 6-7 years now. It's been a long time.
Too long.
You know, it feels like you just get relegated and he goes, I'll put a bit of money in now to get us back up, and just doesn't spend. I honestly, and so about Hicks and Gillette, the reason why I say I think he's worse than Hicks and Gillette is that he's been there longer. He's been like Hicks and Gillette within 3-4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's kind of, you look at sort of, they had the Pardew thing and they give him a 7-year deal, the most ridiculous 7 or 8 year deal or something. It was something stupid.
Yeah, it was.
He had like 6 months of a decent season and got Newcastle into the top half of the table, and they give him a 7-year deal, and he was sacked 8 weeks later or something. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers, but he was sacked. And then they brought in Alan Shearer. They kind of pulled a Chelsea and brought in a little player to try and boost morale. And Shearer actually wasn't that bad, and he gave it a go, but they still went down. And then they managed to grab Rafa, and I thought to myself, Rafa, you've had this before with Hicks and Gillette. You're going into another owner who's not going to back you financially. He'll maybe throw you the odd 50 here and there to pick up 1 or 2 players, but he's not going to back you the way you need him to get this team where they need to be. And to be honest with you, like, Newcastle played well above their station last year, and it was because of Rafa. Yeah. Because think about it, he took us to two Champions League finals with which weren't actually the greatest squads in the world.
No, fucking hell, no.
Like that 2005 squad. I mean, Jimmy Traore. You know what I mean?
Just 3 top players, isn't it? 3 or 4 top players. That's it.
Yeah.
Shocking.
But yeah, so he's not. He's moved on to, bigger bank balances and stuff, and fair play to him because he deserves it. But Steve Bruce. I mean, is there a more negative manager in football?
No.
I mean,
he's up there with Pulis and things, isn't
he? He's kind of like, I think he's taken over Sam Allardyce's role.
He must have thought he won the lottery. He must have thought he won the lottery when he got the call this summer. He's been sacked by Chef Wed or Villa, both. I think both. And he must have thought he won the lottery. He must have. Fuck me. Are you sure? Like me? All right, yeah, so go ahead. And listen, I don't degrade the man for taking the job. If anyone offers you a position like that, you're going to take it. I don't blame him. Yeah, Jay, I'll come to you, mate. But I think that the decision to get Rafa Benitez, right? Rafa fought in his head because he's been. Let's be honest. He's walked into the interview and went, "I don't want to work with you." And Mike's went, "I'm selling this club, and I'm going to use you as my selling bait because any owner in the world would want Rafa Benitez as their owner to walk in,
exactly,
as their manager." So that's what he sold them on. He sold them on that you can come in to get relegated because Rafa comes in, I think 8 or 10 games to go, can't save them, to go down. And he goes, we'll keep the squad together. We'll bring a little player in for you here and there, and we'll get them back up. And that's when I'll do the selling because the price of the club right now is shit. He's got them back up. They won the league on the last day, I think, because Brighton lost, I think. So they won the league. They get promoted. He keeps them in. He goes, right, I'm going to sell them now. They're up for sale. Right, okay, so I can have some money. No, you can't because I'm not spending any money. He keeps them in the league. He goes, you're going to sell this summer? He goes, no, he wants I want Solomon Rondon on loan from West Brom. By the way, he's one of the best pieces of business in the last 10 years about any club in the world to get Solomon Rondon out of West Brom, which is a championship club, and get about 12 goals out of him in the Premier League.
Yeah, great player.
He keeps him in the league again, mate, and you can understand Rafa's frustration. Jay, I'll come to you, mate. This owner, honestly, he's I don't really want to go into a big rant, mate, but he's shocking. He is appalling. With the money that's in the Premier League clubs right now, mate, you have Bournemouth spending 40 million on players, and you can have lower league Premier League clubs, mate, and they're spending 40, 50 million consistently now. This isn't like one-offs. They're spending 20, 30 million consistently on players, and this man can't get his hand in his pocket for a club that sells over 50,000 tickets every week with that new TV deal, mate, is nothing short of a disgrace.
I'm surprised that he hasn't been turfed out of town already.
Mate, I can't believe they haven't killed him. I can't believe they haven't killed him.
The Geordies are so passionate, like
Yeah.
even more so than Liverpool fans, than actual Scousers in Liverpool, and that's a big thing to say right there. Like, Geordies are mental. Like, you always see, the camera always cuts to one mental Geordie in the crowd with his shirt off in the December games, painted head to toe red and black like a barcode.
Yeah.
You know, they're just mental. There's no two ways about them. They love their football. They love their club. It's a wonder he's still breathing. He's brought through the mud on so many different occasions. I mean, like Chris touched on earlier, like back in the 90s and in their pomp with Ginola and Gary Speed.
Shearer. Fastino.
Yeah. They have Philip Albert centre half. What a player.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and Shearer, you know, let's not forget the highest scoring player in Premier League history. So it's a shame really, because I miss those golden days, the 4-3 thrillers. You know, the Keegan hanging his head, not knowing what to do. Just I do miss coming up against them, because growing up in Ireland, there was a few teams people would support. There was obviously United.
Yeah.
A rare occasion, maybe one person. I can remember one friend who supported City. Newcastle. There maybe would be a few Aston Villa fans from the Irish link, and of course Liverpool and Everton. But Newcastle are giants of the Premier League, or at least they should be brought back up to that position. So hopefully somebody can put in some money, because he's a poison to the game.
Yeah, it's something like for our American fans, especially. Newcastle are very much like Liverpool in the effect of it's all based around football. The city is football. It's exactly like Liverpool. The city is football. And they're a very working class city. Very much like Liverpool. And they've been through very, treacherous times in the past. And they've recovered from it. But all they have up there at Newcastle is their football. They live for their weekend to go to Saturday at 3 o'clock to watch the game. And
they hate the Mackhams. And, they hate Sunderland.
They had the Newcastle Sunderland link. But as James said before, this is a one-club city. Sunderland is not in their city. Guys, I think they're about 30 miles away south or something. They're not in their city. This is a very much of a one-club city. And to see what's happening to them, because they are, as I say, they think like us. They think like Scousers. They have the same kind of thoughts and the same kind of jokes and the same kind of sense of humour as us. It is really upsetting, because we've been there. We've been there through Hicks and Gillette. We know what it's like to have these kind of owners. And these guys try everything. And the worst part is he keeps giving them hope. He gets Rafferty. It's hope. He's the best manager they've ever had in the last 50 years, right? And then I don't mean that in a harsh way. Kevin Keegan used to play 7 up front. That's how he won games. It was, and it's not like I'm not trying to disrespect these great managers. Bobby Robson was an unbelievable manager, but mate, Bobby Robson was backed by his owner, so he keeps giving him these kind of little shoots of hope, like, well, this is it now. He's got Rafferty, and he doesn't do it. They're getting lied to. They're getting cheated every single time he opens his mouth, and it's disgusting, really. But as I say, all we can do, you can just hope and pray that someone comes in and just take. At the moment, mate, I think literally anyone you've got, literally, I think they'll take anyone just to come in and buy the club at the moment, just to get it out of his hands, because he is a plague on that club, and it's so disheartening, it's so upsetting to see. But
I've got Geordie mates who have just given up on football. Like it's ridiculous. Like when your club, imagine Liverpool were fighting for relegation every year. It would be so disheartening. Like everybody cares so much about their team. Like to sit and watch them, it's akin to watching a puppy get kicked. It's ridiculous. and these my good mates, all Geordies, like born and bred, just have fallen out of love with the game. You know, can't even watch Match of the Day anymore.
It's again, it's one of those things which breaks you, because you look at let's be real right now, there's been clubs in the Premier League, like for example Sheffield United. If they go down this season, they'll go, we had a good run, squad's not good enough to give it all, right? When Newcastle, that's a massive football club. Newcastle, a Premier League football club, and whether if it's probably top 6, top 7 in the league of how big they are, and it's a disgrace. And honestly, it upsets you as well, because as Jamie said, I remember games. My first ever footballing memory was Michael Owen scoring a hat-trick there when he was 17, and on the celebration he rubbed his hands together. I think it was on 96 or 4.
Yeah.
I never forget it. I can't remember why I always remember that. I always remember that hat-trick he scored.
It's because it was on Match of the Day for about 10 years on the
at the start of it.
It might be that. But I remember the hat-trick he scored. I think he scored a hat-trick about half an hour. I think it was. He scored 3. And we had them great 4-3 games with them. The Collymore cost them the league. Basically gave United the league that night. And then the John Barnes game and things like that. And John Barnes was unbelievable. I also remember a great game that we played against them on Boxing Day, 2009. Boxing Day, by the way, in the UK is the 26th of December. It's the day after Christmas for you Americans. And we beat them 5-0, I think.
Yes.
Went there away than me. Beat them 5-0. We beat them 7-0. Under Brendan, I think? 6-0?
6-0, yeah, it was,
Yeah, 6-0.
That was the one Fabio Barini scored the last goal.
It was,
Yeah, I remember Henderson scored like the 5th, and he celebrated like he just won the league. Brilliant. It's like me scoring at Goodison Park. Love that. But no, as I say, they're a massive club. Chris, I'll come to you. Jamie mentioned it before about, maybe a few changes in the squad. We have got Napoli on Tuesday. These lads have been away. Do you see any surprises?
I don't think there'll be any surprises. I mean, I'm kind of thinking Origi will start over Bobby. I think Bobby's done a bit of travelling. He played a few games. I'm not quite sure about Fabinho. I don't really follow the international football that much.
No.
I'm strictly a club over country man. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I'll come out here for the Gawa and I'll watch a Northern Ireland game and I'll cheer my country on. But I really don't have much love for international football. So I'm not quite sure how many minutes Fabinho played, if he played at all. So I think they'll. If Fabinho didn't play, I reckon he starts. For me, he's kind of the first name on the team sheet, him and Bobby. But I think maybe Shaq might get a look in.
Mm-hmm.
Been putting in the work. Milner, I think, probably gets a start in midfield over Henderson or Gini, depending on which one.
I think Milner's a shoo-in. I think he's the captain.
But I think apart from that, it'll be pretty much unchanged. Maybe Gomez for Trent. I don't know.
Yeah, Jay, I'll come to you. I look at players who are coming back. Naby Keita's had a couple of weeks to get fit. He was meant to be rumoured to come back before Burnley, and then he's had like 2 weeks now of intense training, hopefully. Shaqiri got a few minutes against Burnley, came on towards the end of the game. James Milner's been there for the 2 weeks, of course, because he's retired from international duty. Maybe even Lallana, because he's been working out in San Diego this week. According to his Instagram, because he's plugging up my newsfeed with his wonderful body, the beautiful man. What are you seeing? Anything that maybe catches your eye where you go, that's a bit of a shocker?
I can let's say no mental changes. I could possibly see the case for Milner.
I think he starts 100%.
Yeah.
I'd be amazed if he doesn't, because he's been there for the 2 weeks.
Well, I know you didn't watch the internationals. Neither did I, really. I'm kind of in the same boat as the two of you. Very much club over country, just international. Much like Newcastle to the Geordies, has just fallen. I've fallen out of love with it. But I just googled there while you two were talking. Fabinho came on against Brazil's loss against Peru. He came on the 64th minute, so he'll still have fresh legs, even maybe a bit of jet lag, but there could be a case for Lallana or even Ox or somebody to
Keita?
step in. Well, Keita, you never know. It might be a little too early for a John Joe Shelby tackle. Might take Naby Keita out of the game. So I doubt he'll be risked. I know Ox is banging Klopp's door down to get games. So hopefully he'll get some minutes. Definitely Milner, Shaqiri staying at home, training with the boys all week. Definitely he has to get some more minutes than the 12 or so he got at Burnley. So yeah, it'd be a good time to see some fresh legs, because I read an article that we've got, what was it, 9 games in 20 something days or something like that.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow.
Yeah. I think it's. We'll let's have a little chat then. We'll go through the starting 11, okay? See what we think. I think the goalkeepers are the interesting one, because I know Alisson's fit. He's been working, and this is the thing now. People might go, it's too early for him. So when's he going to get match minutes? Because you can't bring him on for 15 minutes. Like towards the end to get fitness. So with a goalkeeper, he kind of has to play. Now this is a big run in for Liverpool. In the next, the next 5-6 games are quite big. You might look at the MK Dons game in the League Cup to maybe bring him back, but just want to try and get your guys' thoughts. Chris, I'll come to you. If he's fit, he has been walking, he has been training supposedly. As I say, how else do you get match fitness without playing him?
Yeah, I mean, if he's fit, he plays. I mean, there's no question. You know what I mean? Like that's just the be all and end all. I mean, I like Adrian, and he's a decent keeper, but he's not Alisson. And if he's fit, if he's fit, he plays. It's like when we had Luis Suarez. There's nobody else in the team's going to play against him. There's nobody else that's going to take his place. If he's fit, he plays. It's plain and simple. And Alisson's at that sort of standard. Especially, it would be a big plus with Napoli on Tuesday night for him to be fit.
That's what I'm thinking. That's another thing that's in the back of my mind. Do you want to take Adrian to Napoli? Now, I'm not saying that JR comes to you. I'm not saying he's been sound since he came in. He's been decent. He's made a couple of little letters, but you listen, you get that. You get that with goalkeepers. But some of the best goalkeeper in the world here. And I would much rather have him against Napoli if he's fit. It might come surprise there's a few fans, because, it always does. But I wouldn't be massively shocked if he is fit that he starts this weekend.
It would be typical of Liverpool to keep that sort of thing on the hush too, as well. Like I read, he had light training, so light training could have been anything.
Exactly.
He's not running lengths.
Exactly, but the thing is, like you guys were kind of alluding to, Adrian may be great. He may be doing fantastic things on the training pitch, but no matter how fit, on a bad day, Alisson waltzes into that starting lineup. There's no two ways about it. So it would be, in an ideal world, our defense would keep him at bay. It would be great timing to get him 90 minutes, because Champions League first game, you don't want to. I'm not saying risk it. I'm not saying he's a risk or a liability or anything. I'm just saying, on a bad day, Alisson walks into that team, no problem.
Yeah. We'll move on. We left back, I think. Do we all agree on the defence stays the same?
Unless Milner's getting thrown in at left back, who knows?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Robbo had a pretty tough week.
Yeah, he did.
They got hammered by Belgium. They got hammered by Russia. But they were at home. So both Scotland games were at home, so he didn't travel too far. I don't know. It's hard to tell if he's out, then Milner takes the left back slot. But I think Milner's a shoe-in for the midfield, and I think Robertson's one of those players. Again, if he's fit, he wants to play. So he'll probably play.
Okay, so the midfield. Do we all agree on Milner? I think it just makes the most sense anyway.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the team. If Andy misses out, I'd hate to see Andy Robertson miss out, but somebody's got to give way. Milner's due a start.
Here's a game that he wants to miss. Newcastle at home is a game he should be able to rest Andy Roberts for a match. Do you know what I mean? You've got to pick and choose your rest, I suppose. You know what I mean? If he has got a bit of a knock on play against Napoli on then Newcastle at home. But listen, so we agree with Milner. I think Fabinho's a shoo-in, and I don't know if you guys agree there.
Fabinho?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jay?
Fabinho, I mean, absolutely. Unless it's crazy jet lag, unless
They're
they
all
got
on
back.
chartered flights now, aren't they? They all send private planes for these lads and get them home, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. People talk about this whole thing about jet lag and stuff. Here's the thing: when we jump on a plane and we fly 10 hours from Orlando to Manchester or whatever it is, and we're dying for 3 days. You know what I mean? These guys do it every month or every other month.
And it's good practice as well. Like in Champions League right around the corner, they're going to be traveling everywhere and every night. So you're absolutely right. They're pampered and
it's part of being a professional footballer these days.
They're on a private plane that lands at the thing. They walk straight onto it, mate. They get given a glass of wine and a fucking sleeping tablet, and you wake up in Liverpool. And
I don't even have to carry a bag.
Yeah, exactly. They're not crammed into like a little Thomas Cook flight. They're like Wi-Fi home anyway. These lads. But I'll go Fabinho. We're going to go Milner. I think the next one's open. I think it could be Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think it could be Keita. I think it could be Shaqiri. I don't see Wijnaldum playing because he has played a lot of minutes, I believe, over the international break.
He's phenomenal over the international break. From
I know he scored and assisted, didn't he, against Germany? I did see that. I don't know.
He scored in the other game as well.
Did he? Yeah. So look, I maybe might put him in then because of that, but I think I'd rather have him away at Napoli. So I'm gonna Jay, I'll come to you first. Who's your other third one to partner our Millie and Fabinho?
It'd be hard to bypass Wijnaldum, but hopefully he starts and gets subbed off for possibly. I prefer to see Ox, but I think Genie starts. Hopefully,
win the game inside 60, and then take him off. Chris, I'll come to you. What do you reckon?
I think Ox. I think it's going to be Ox that starts. Genie, like you, I think Genie will be better kept for Napoli. Give him that extra bit of rest. He's played pretty hard, and I could probably see Ox with maybe Shaqiri coming in later. So, yeah, I think there's. I mean, they're up against Jonjo Shelvey, Sean Longstaff, Jack Colback. There's not a lot of creativity within those guys. They're all just tough sort of midfielders. Jonjo's probably the most creative of those. And again, I don't see him being much of a threat up against the likes of Fabinho.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I like the Ox situation. I think I always say he'll go Shaq because I don't know. I don't know. It just makes so much sense, especially in these kind of games where there's going to be a bank at 10. To have someone like Shaq on the field who can hit it. By the way, he's probably our best free kick taker, and I'm including Trent in that. Like the three free kicks he's had for him is he's basically hit the bar. I think he hit the bar against Wolves in the cup, and he hit the bar against someone at home. And
think about this. The last game we played against Newcastle was away. We won 3-2 with a last minute free kick from Shaq to
exactly. Yeah, it makes it strong. It's a strong. I'm going to go Shaq. I think he might do the Shaq because, again, where do these lads get the minutes? If you can't, if you shouldn't have to play Wijnaldum to beat Newcastle at home, and that's no disrespect. No. But if Liverpool are as good as we say over what we think they are, Liverpool should be able to play Shaqiri instead of Wijnaldum in a midfield three to win the football match. You know, we got Napoli away. I think we got MK Dons coming up as well. Liverpool, he's probably going to start the MK Dons game, of course. Yeah. You have to get minutes in these legs. So the front three, lads, are we going for the same front three? Chris, what do you reckon?
Front three, I think Mane, Origi, and Mo.
Oof. Oh, okay. No Bobby for Chris. What do you reckon then?
No, I think he gets a rest.
So who plays in the middle for Mane or Salah?
I'll play Mane, but I think he'll go Salah. But if it was me, I'd go Mane.
I think I'd probably stay with Mane as well. He's on fire at the minute. But for me, it's a tough one. Like it's just a great it's a great thing we have where the top three basically pick themselves. Aside from occasions like this where Divock will probably get the nod, but we've got a wealth of riches in the midfield and defence where we can have these sorts of discussions on whether it's Shaq, Lallana, Milner. It's incredible, and that's not even to mention Naby Keita. So we could sit here and discuss all these options, but I think Chris's idea of Divock, Mane in the middle and Salah in the right is probably what's going to happen. Who knows if Shaq gets brought on for Salah or gets brought on into the midfield? The options are endless, and that's just fantastic management from Klopp.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's the same. By the way, I think Bobby might get a rest. Again, Napoli on Tuesday. I understand we have got a couple of days between it. We do play the early game, which is awesome. But I do think it's going to be the front three. While we're speaking of Brazil, I don't know if you guys seen Ederson's mistake for the goal that cost them the game, their first loss in months. It's wonderful. Comes for a free kick, no way near it, mate. Absolutely no way near it. Goes straight in. They lose 1-0. But anyway, just wanted to mention that. Give it a YouTube, guys.
I didn't. I'm going to have to watch it now.
I'll definitely have to have a look at that.
Oh, mate, he comes out for the ball with the big fist, mate, and the ball's no way near him. He's in the middle of the crowd, like, what's happened here? And then they lose 1-0. It's the first game they lost in like 3 years or 3 months. I can't remember. I remember something with the 3. But, yeah.
Speaking of goalkeepers, I seen a clip of young Kelleher.
Oh, mate, I was going to mention him, Oh, what a guy. Go on. You can carry on there.
With his footwork for the Ireland national team in the youths, where he just dribbled it out round the attacking guy that was rushing him. It was brilliant.
Irish Allison, isn't he? He's the Irish Allison.
He's been around Allison too long.
Oh, he has been, man. I swear to God.
You know what that is, though?
He just body feinted him and drifted over to the right and kind of cleared the ball. It was just... I didn't see where the ball landed up. It could have been a terrible pass, but...
Look great from the angle I seen.
Yeah.
That's what that shows, though, mate, when you're working around these lads with our young players, for example, when people go, he should loan Brewster out. Why? He's learning better off fucking being around Bobby all day and Mo and these kind of guys. Exactly the same there with Kelleher is training with Allison every day. You know what I mean? He's going to learn a lot more being around Allison than he is going to be going being around, someone rubbish.
Not only that, we're so well balanced right now. People like Brewster are up against people like Van Dijk and Matip and Gomez and Lovren every single day. That's only just going to... These guys are just bouncing off each other all the day. It's unbelievable.
Exactly, mate. I couldn't agree more. But we'll move on. We'll have a little look at the old weekend fixtures. Got to go to unfortunately, our biggest rivals. I think we'll all agree. Which is Manchester City. They do have Norwich away on the Saturday night game. Well, Saturday morning, technically. Saturday night in the UK. And they have Norwich away. Chris, I'll come to you. The way Norwich played against Anfield, we were 4-0 up inside 30 minutes. We could have put 10 past them. I genuinely think this could be double figures. The way Norwich play football. I'm not saying they're a bad side, I don't believe they are. But I genuinely think this could be double figures, mate, if they come and play the same way they did in the first 30 minutes at Anfield.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to do the same thing. I think they've probably learned their lesson, or maybe not. I mean, every time we play Norwich, it's always a bag full of goals. So I don't know. Here's the thing with City. City are one of those teams that, they're almost becoming. I mean, they're under Pep, so they're almost becoming like that 2000s Barcelona team, where you just don't think anybody can beat them because they've got so much. But they're also... This season, they just haven't looked their best. And when they come up against teams, especially with players that are on super form like Timu Pukki, we could see a shock. I mean, we've already been shocked this season with them dropping points. I think this could be a potential banana skin for them.
Wow. Jay, what you reckon, fella? Banana skin? Mate, the way they play, I think they'll beat a lot of teams this season. Because a lot of teams are pretty rubbish. But they will not beat any of the big teams, in my opinion. Chris, second to shock. What do you think?
I'd love to see a wee Pukki hat trick.
if he scores a hat-trick, they'll score 7. I know for a fact. It'll be like a mad game of football.
You're probably right. Let's all hope for a cheeky 1-0. I'll take anyone, but
Man City will not. Man City will score in this football match. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely.
1-0.
You're absolutely right. Well, look, it's my birthday this weekend.
Oh,
so I'm hoping for a present, and if Pookie can give it to me, I might even stick him on my fantasy captain.
I don't want to burst your bubble, right? But relying on football at major times in your life is not good. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm going to go off on one here. Quick story. On my honeymoon in 2013, we went to Sarasota in Florida, and on the Monday we played Crystal Palace.
Okay.
And
I think
I was like, this was the greatest weekend of my life. I got married on Star Wars Day. It was even better. The following day, we played Crystal Palace, and all we had to do was win, and we would have won the league. And we were 3-0 up, and at halftime, we were sitting in the bar. There wasn't many people there. It was a Monday afternoon, so everybody's at work. But me and the wife were sitting in the bar watching this football game going, happy days, we've won the league, we just got married, life is beautiful. 45 minutes later, it became the worst day of my life.
Yeah. I do agree though. Relying on football for your fun it's difficult, but City, they have dropped points this season. Bearing in mind the team that they dropped points to is meant to be the third best team in the league, and they have 30 shots against them. And they had the third best team in the league had 2 shots against them. So it is difficult. Jamie, I'll come to you, fella. You can be optimistic. It's your birthday. What's your score for the weekend, mate?
I gotta go. Instead of a 4-3, let's just have a 4-0 and be done with it. And happy days. First game in. The boys get the rest of their feet up until Tuesday, and I'll take another 3 points on Tuesday if I don't mind, because it's my bloody birthday. And last year on my birthday, I had to deal with a hurricane, and then we won the PSG game 3-2. And I've just had to go through another bloody hurricane here in North Carolina. And it's my birthday, and I want 2 wins, and I want a Norwich hat-trick.
So, Chris, what's your score for the Reds?
6-2.
6-2 for the Reds or the Norwich?
Norwich. Oh, Norwich. No, 6-2 to the Reds, but for the Norwich game, I'm going to go 2-1 to Norwich.
Oh, that's an optimism there. Funny enough, my score prediction for the Norwich game is 6-2. And I don't mean that as a joke. I just can't see how they're going to stop them from scoring goals. And I do, if it's going to be that open, and I think City will be very, very comfortable. But I'll go 6-2 for City. And then for the Reds, I'm going to go for a nice standard 2-0. I love a 2-0 win. It's just, don't get out of third gear, win the game 2-0. And just be cool.
Everybody always says 2-0 is the most dangerous lead, though. And it's one of those football cliches.
It's the most bullshit ever. I'd rather be 2-0 ahead than 2-0 down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, literally.
2-0's I hate when commentators say that. 2-0's a dangerous lead. Like, no, it's not. Catch yourself on.
It's literally. Do you know what? I always put the nail in the coffin on this 2-0 bullshit, because I thought about this a lot over the summer, right? When Salah scores the pen in the Champions League final, Sadio Mane drops to his knees to say, they're not scoring 2. He dropped to his knees and went, it's game over already. Like, we know for a fact you ain't scoring 2 against us. It's like that. I think defense.
I think 3-0 is more dangerous than 2-0.
You get the big finish, don't you? But in kind of both results, you get the big finish. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think and that's all it is, though. But with this team, we don't give anyone a big finish.
No.
You don't get a chance because you won't score goals against us. We've got the best defence in the league, the best goalkeeper when he's fit, the best defender, the best fullbacks in the world. Listen, as I say,
were we 3-0 up against Palace?
In 2013,
for Chris's nightmare day.
Yeah, that was the 3-0 against Palace, yeah. But to be fair on that game, we're going to go off here on a tangent, but to be fair on that game, they went for the goals. I always respect them for that game, you know. I have no qualms with it, because we were behind on goal difference. They were right to what they were doing. I think we were 4 or 5 behind. and he wanted to get another couple of goals. So I've always been cool with that one. You know what I mean? The other game that I don't want to talk about, but yeah, I've always been cool with that one. But anyway, we'll go back to it.
So you're cool with the worst day of my life? Thanks.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah. No, at the time, trust me, I was boiling about it. But when I sit there and think, I go, you know what? They went for the goals, and I can't blame them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then again, what cost us the league that year? It wasn't Gerrard. Forget that. It's because we had a shit defence. We had to score 5 goals to win a game, and now look at us. Good defence, usually the best defence in the league wins the league. So we'll move on. We'll come back to these fixtures this weekend. Jamie, you loved my pick last time for the game of the weekend. This is my game of the weekend this time. It's going to be United versus Leicester. I honestly think this could be a wonderful game of football to sit down and chill out and tune in after the Reds just got the 3 points.
I think you're absolutely right, and I'm sure some of the lads from the Liverpool-Newcastle game will be watching it as well, because it's just going to be great if we manage to get the 3 points and sit back and watch some football or watch some other sports or whatever. But I think you're right. I think it's billed to be a good game no matter what. I think Brendan Rodgers is doing as best as he can. He's doing a pretty good job with Leicester. And Ole is just Ole's fantastic. Keep him there.
Ole's at the wheel.
Aye, it's brilliant. Let him drive that bus all day.
Chris, I'll come to you. I think it's a great game of football. I think Leicester they might pick to finish in the top 4, which might be brave. I just think when you got a player who gets 20, 25 goals, I say it all the time on the podcast. When you have players who score you 25 goals every season, mate, you're going to be there or thereabouts. No one goes down with a 25 goal a year striker. And that's why me picks, because me picks were at the start. I think I might have said Arsenal and Spurs, but the way Spurs are falling off a cliff, mate, Leicester are bang in the mix. And I think if you go to Old Trafford at the moment where they just lost to Palace, mate, and you go and get another big win, it fucking really shakes up the bag, doesn't it?
Definitely does. I think Leicester are kind of. I think Brendan's got sort of Leicester in a position he had us in sort of 2013. He's got himself a prolific goal scorer up front and a couple of half-decent players, and he knows how to play attacking football. And he's going to play games where, they're going to go out and they're going to lose 3-0. But I think overall, he's going to do what he kind of did with us, and he's going to just play attractive attacking football. They're going to score a bag full of goals. I think United this Saturday, it's not going to be my game of the weekend. It's going to be a good game, but I think Leicester could nick that one.
Mate, honestly, I think they're a horrific team to play. I'm petrified to go there. Honestly, they're a fucking horrific team. Because they're solid. I think, as Jamie said, I've said before on podcast, Jamie knows I'm Wilfred Ndidi's biggest fan. I'm bigger fan than his mum, right?
I wanted us to sign Ndidi in the summer.
Literally, mate, he's 22, 23, mate, and he controls midfields. Do you know what he is, mate? Right? He's what United thinks that they've got with Pogba. That's what Leicester have got with Ndidi.
Exactly.
Controls football matches, mate, from the centre of the park. You've got a player like James Madison.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Momo Sissoko. Liverpool Momo.
Absolutely.
I think he's a bit more physical than Momo. But basically. I think he's more of maybe a sitter as well. To me, he's like a bit of a cross between like Michael Carrick and Kante. Yeah. Where he's stronger than Kante, but he wins the ball, mate. Honestly, he's unbelievable. And I look at the team, and on paper, mate, that team is solid. It's solid. Pereira's a good fullback, a right back. Ben Chilwell's a great left back. Yeah. I love the goalie. Schmeichel's been solid for years. Everyone knows it. Yeah. James Madison he can find space in an elevator. Right?
Yeah.
And you got players like Harvey Barnes and Mark Albrighton, Jamie Vardy, mate. They're a good squad. It's my pick for the weekend. I think it's my game of the weekend. I think Leicester's going to do them. I'm going to go 3-1. Chris, I'll come to you. What's your score?
I agree. I'm going to say 3-2.
3-2, Jay?
I'll take a cheeky 2-0. Why not? Let's
solid 2-0.
Yeah.
Just to go there, Leicester don't get out of third gear and win 2-0. Like we just described the Reds. Even better, that is.
Harry Maguire own goal.
Oh, come on.
But no, as I say, it's a good weekend of football. The other game we can kind of mention if you guys want to have a chat about it. They're not really any of our business. Could be because this game of the weekend. It's Wolves versus Chelsea. Jamie, I'll come to you, fella. I think again, this could be 0-0 or 5-5. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have the potential. Young Connor Cody, I think. Well, he hasn't really started too much this season, but last season he had a pretty decent turnout. Neves, they've got quality up front. Jimenez, your Mexican boy. How do you pronounce it? Jota, Diogo Jota.
Jota.
I'd like to see them get a result.
Chris, do you have won a game this season? They've drew 3-3, lost 1. They haven't won a game this season, mate. And I think if you want to win a game, mate, Chelsea at home, get that first big win against a good club, mate, could be just basically the little kickstart that they need.
Yeah, I think this is my game of the weekend. I think this one's just going to be end to end.
Yeah.
I think with Wolves, Bowley, he was sent off in the last game. He's a big loss for them at the back, and I think Chelsea are kind of. I don't think they've quite found what they want to be yet, but they've got some young, enthusiastic players that are playing some decent football. For Lampard, that kid Mason Mount has been outstanding so far. So I think there's a lot of goals in this game because both defenses are kind of shocking, to be honest.
Yeah, I think again, it could be anything. It could be 0-0 or 5-5. But yeah, another good game for you guys to sit in and tune in. Before we go, any other business, guys?
Have we talked about the Michael Owen, Alan Shearer thing?
You know what, mate? It was the spat I didn't know I needed. And you know what? Now I can't get enough of it.
It's so good.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Michael Owen is the gift that keeps on giving.
Mate, the two dullest men in football, right, are having an argument. Oh, it's wonderful. And you know what side, mate? I'm on Michael Owen's side. I really am. It's not his fault that they agreed a contract. You know, I think I say this. I've said this again before on previous podcasts. We all work. We all go to a job that we don't want to go to, but they pay us because we go there to do a job. Football is a job, whether we like it or not, because it's our football club. That's what it is. It's a job. Virgil van Dijk plays for Liverpool because he gets paid to do it. If he didn't get paid to do it, he wouldn't play for Liverpool. Michael Owen was getting paid to show up for training, not break any rules, and do his best on the field. And he paid him a large amount of money to do it. He's not going to go, you know what, I'm injured, actually, I'll only take 50k a week. He's going to go, fuck that, no, pay me. That's what I signed. You know, and that's how it is. I'm on Michael Owen's side. You know, we can have a little brief on it, lads. I don't know what you reckon. Chris, I come to you, fella. You brought it up. Are you team Michael or team Shearer?
I'm not really on anybody's side, to be honest with you.
It's great.
It's my No, I'm going to sit on the fence here. No, I mean, I kind of get Shearer's point and I get Owen's point, and I understand the whole thing about, you know, it's a business and it's football and you just do your job and everything else. But, you know, Michael Owen, there's always been that little bit that's just sort of annoyed me about Owen and the whole United thing and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I kind of have to side with Shearer. But the one thing that did stand out for me was that Owen said Shearer almost signed for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Now, that's at a time. Well, that would have been around 2003, 2004?
2002, 2002, yeah. 2002.
Yeah, so who's he coming in to replace? You're looking at what, Barros?
Well, no, 2002, you would have been looking like the Owen Heskey Fowler. Fowler fucked off to Leeds, didn't he?
He was going, Heskey was kind of on the downturn.
Yeah, we had Heskey great for 2 years, didn't we? Heskey was unbelievable for 2 years.
Heskey was untouchable for 2 years.
Oh, mate, one of the best legends in the league. I won't have an argument about it for them 2 years. But, yeah,
but then Owen was going to Madrid or whatever was happening there, so we needed another prolific strike.
04 before we won.
Yeah, so, you know, Shearer probably would have been perfect in there.
Yeah,
you know,
but I think it's hard. You know, Jay, I'll come to you, mate. You know, Alan Shearer in a Liverpool shirt, fella, fucking hell. You know, I don't know what to say, really. You know,
I'm just during the whole spat, I'm just sitting back there with popcorn, like watching and drooling. And then when I heard about Shearer possibly being for Liverpool, I couldn't help but imagine that classic celebration.
I don't know if
in a red shirt.
Weird, isn't it? It's weird, man.
Well, I kind of think on it this way. It was very publicly announced that he shut down Alex Ferguson, said he would never go to Manchester. He'd never go to Manchester. So Owen saying that he almost signed for Liverpool gives me a little bit of hope for Shearer. I know he's one of the dullest men in football, but I mean, if he favours us over Manchester, then he can't be that bad.
You know what, mate? Right? It's very publicly known that he did have a meeting with Alex Ferguson a couple of times. And it's very publicly known that one of the arguments was, mate, that he wanted to take penalties at Manchester United in '95. That's a fact. He asked Alex Ferguson in the meeting, Fergie and I can't remember, was it McLaren at the time? And he said, am I taking pence? You know, we got Cantona and we have, you know, Beck, I can't remember what it was, maybe Keane and things like that. It's like these, you know. And he signed to Newcastle. I'm not saying that's what he signed on the back of, but it was a question that he asked. Shearer's one of the most selfish players of all time. Unbelievable player, but he's selfish. Like every great goal scorer in this. But, you know, I think it's a very much weird argument. I haven't got a lot of beef with Michael Owen. I know a lot of people have. I haven't got a lot of beef with it. To be honest, he was my childhood. I'm only 27, and him to me was everything when I was growing up. He broke my heart. But, I mean, listen, the position that Michael was in at the time when he signed for United, mate, he went back to Liverpool and he said, "You fancy?" And he said, "No." And then if Man United are going to come in for you, mate, then, you know, you consider your options, don't you? He might have felt a bit like, you know, sour grapes after getting turned down by Liverpool again. I thought, well, fuck you, then I'll go to United.
He was an Everton fan anyway, so that's the usual route. Everton to United, United to Everton. That's usually.
But to be fair, you know, listen, you give us some of the, you know, Michael, give us some of the best nights you can ever have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
FA Cup, perfect hat trick.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Left foot, right foot header.
Oh no, I know you're getting that. Yeah, that's the no. He scored two. Didn't he? Scored two in the last 10 in the FA Cup. He scored.
When did he have the perfect hat trick then?
That wasn't the final. That was Arsenal at home, I want to say.
I think it was Arsenal, yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Fucking hell! I just pulled out the bag. I was only about 10. My God.
He did. He scored right foot and left foot in the FA Cup final, though. He put bottom left foot.
David Seaman, By the way, that was probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled. That 2001 Arsenal side that he beat on his own. And
The Invincibles, weren't they? It was the genesis of
the 2003 League Cup game against United. He scores late on to you know, secure the game. Alaves, he was excellent in the final. So Michael, I've always got, you know, the soft spot's always been there. I understand the argument. He comes out with some shite. Like, some absolute rubbish. But,
he is basically the human equivalent of boring James Milner on Twitter.
Yeah, he's like a cross between him and, I don't know if you've ever seen The Office with Steve Carell or Ricky Gervais. He's like a cross between that character of The Office.
He is. Yeah.
And like boring James Milner. That's like a cross. He's like a parody of himself.
Well, some of the stuff. What was the one he says? At the end of the 90 minutes, the game will be over.
I know. He was going, well, you know, if City don't score, they don't win the game.
Yeah.
He meant to say score first. I understand what he meant, but he just didn't get the first out. But no, listen, I know people might listen. Let us know your thoughts. Come into the Facebook group, the Liverpool. What's it called now? Liverpool America. LFC America, is it? I can't remember what it's called.
LFC America.
LFC America, thank you guys. Okay, did we change the name? That's why. Well, don't give me that. LFC America, get involved. Come in, have a gab with us. We're always in there. Other like-minded Liverpool fans, get involved. General footy discussion. Always in good humour, good faith. Everyone gets along. It's all cool. You know, but let us know your thoughts. You know, on Michael Owen. Do you guys think what he did was just unforgivable? He's a bit like me and can see his point of view, and what he did for us kind of overrides what he's done in the past. Sorry, what he's done after that. It was, to me, I know people don't consider this, but people think of a prime Fernando Torres, mate. He's bang up there with a prime Michael Owen, and because that's how good he was. Some of the older fans might be able to remember him, but
hey, last English player to win the Ballon d'Or.
And that's it. There you go. Perfect scenario. This man won 4 trophies and a shield in 1 season with us.
Yeah.
And this is at the time when Liverpool were not the best team in Europe. So we just won the Super Cup in, a couple of months ago, guys, when we were the best team in Europe. Liverpool were not the best team in Europe in 2001. No. Bayern Munich won it. I think we won 3-0 or 2-0. Reece scored. Owen scored, I think. Yeah. I think it was 3-2 or 3-1. Anyway, beat Bayern Munich in the final. Alaves got there on a fluke in the UEFA Cup final. The greatest Arsenal side, probably nil enough ever. Up there with the 04. That was like the genesis of that side. Birmingham City beat them on penalties. Michael, he's a peculiar character. Let us know your thoughts. If you think, no, you're just talking shite, that's fine. Let me know.
This is the problem with being top of the league and having an international break. If all we can bicker about is Michael Owen, I'd take it all day long, mate. I love it.
I'm telling you right now, mate. I say this all the time. These are the best days of your life. It doesn't get any better than this. You're walking into this weekend going, how many are Liverpool going to score? When have we ever been in this position?
Even 5 points clear of City.
Mate, even in our greatest days under Rafa Benitez, we were never saying how many Liverpool were going to score because Rafa shut up shop at 2-0 and he shut it up and went, no, thank you, we're done. These are the best days of your life. Think about what he's built. Jurgen Klopp's built. We've never, in our whole wildest dreams in the past 30 years of the Premier League being more specific, what I'm saying here, we've never had the best goal in the world. We've never had the best centre-half in the world. Never had the best fucking number 6 in the world in Fabinho. We never had the 2 best fullbacks in the world. We're all in the same group. They're all in the same team. We genuinely right now, lads, we might do it one day, maybe at the end of the season when we win another fucking Champions League or we win the Premier League. We'll sit there and we'll do our Liverpool FC Premier League 1 to 11. 7 or 8 of these have got to be included. That's how good we are. Yeah. Enjoy it. Drink it in. These are the best days of your life. The Reds going to make a 5-5. It's what we do. We've lost 1 game in 18 months in the league. We're fucking unbelievable. We're unbelievable.
We're unbearable. We're the fucking unbearable.
We're fucking unbelievable. We're unbearable. We're the fucking, honestly, Man City, the only team that beat us in fucking 18 months, and company should have been sent off. But anyway.
Oh yeah, did you see that about him being injured for his own testimonial?
Oh yes, even funnier. And to top that little arsehole's career off at City, he couldn't even play in his testimonial because he was injured. And his best thing he did was score a 30-yard peeler against Leicester at home to stop us doing the double. That's how good we are. Don't forget it. These are not the good. These are not the bad days. You could be worse. You could be United. Have a good night, lads. See you later.
Take it easy.
Up the Reds.